Morning Green in England, and it was probably that back then as well. Now, not only do we have a change of color here, the furniture's changed. It doesn't look like that furniture over there. This house in Philadelphia is considered to have, if not the largest, we always have to qualify, so we'll say among nearly the largest, collection of French Regency furniture in a house museum in the city of Philadelphia. So this house is distinguished that way from other houses of the Park collection with this French collection. So that's what you're seeing here. Now, we also have French porcelain, but it's not made in France, but it is of French style of Empire period, which is the style of clothes I am in. Empire, but it's made in the city of First, so you all use the city of First, which is Philadelphia. It was made just down the river between Market and Chestnut. It was called Tucker. And we have the sampling of it because remember that crazy Francophile Hemphill, the second owner? Well, in 1832, he becomes partner in it and becomes Tucker Hemphill. So we'll take a gander at this when we get upstairs and see how he really changes it.
Cool.
Now you'll notice I forgot to pick up the dry cleaning on Friday, so we have the curtains. Well, not really. When the house opened as a house museum in 1930, this is one of the first houses in the United States as a house museum. We're so used to house museums today, we don't realize that at one time we didn't care. And so this one was very famous because it had another function when it opened. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But they didn't know a lot of things. Research wasn't what it was. And so they put curtains up. Here's a picture of what it was. But in our restoration, we know better today that fabric textiles were so expensive back then, before we're the textile leader of the United States. Before that, everything was imported. So they saved that cost for their mansion downtown. They didn't put it out, generally, put it out here in their summer home. What did they use? We got it, the Venetian blinds. Interestingly.
Really?
Interestingly.
Back then?
Back then, Marco Polo will find them, or discover them from the Far East and bring them to the West. Now, it's easy for Philadelphians to have Venetian blinds because we're the city of first, and we're the first city in the colonies to make Venetian blinds. And the first building recorded for Venetian blinds in the country is St. Peter's Episcopal Church on Pine Street between 3rd and 4th. So we've left the Roman ram's head wooden, gilded curtain rods because they're just too great. They also match up with this Adams style house. Adams is completely Roman, and so they match up with that as well. Well, look at this big old fat door here, and look at that fat wall. Now that's telling us something. Actually, that wall's telling us something too. Both of these are exterior walls, as that one was.
Right.
The Swedes added on. This was the original Swedish farmhouse. They add that on. So that's a little bit newer than this, the 1762 part. Well, but this is now telling us the end of this is the south end of the Swedish farmhouse. It's also the south end of Lewis's villa. Hemphill comes along, wants a bigger house. Now he's going to have the south tower. And this is the ballroom. And this is Mr. and Mrs. Hemphill's color.
Whoa, talk about grand. Do you play the harpsichord?
Really?
Oh, I thought that was going to be one of the one of the treats.
Piano, yeah. If it's in tune, I play it. Yeah. Now, this color was 23 generations down at University of PA, and this is the 1825 color of the Hemphills. And it would not only be the color that Judge Hemphill and his wife Margaret C. when his house completed 1825. They not only like French things, they had a French cream. And he will see this the same year. On Thursday, July 21st, 1825, he was entertained by a morning banquet about this time of the morning, and that was the Marquis de Lafayette. So we now wonder, we can only wonder about this, but it's fun to think about it, that since this tower has been dated as 1825, the Marquis is here on Thursday, July 21st, 1825, and we know that the Marquis visited the Hemphill in September of 1824, but wasn't brought out to their summer villa until the following year when he comes back from the south. We wonder if maybe this tower might have been put on for him, either by coincidentally or on purpose. But anyway, it is fun to think that he would be in this tower. Now, we've got French furniture in here. And this French furniture is made in France in 1830, belonged to a famous Philadelphia founder, Cadwalader. General John Cadwalader. If you go to New Jersey, where they did the crossing of the Delaware, there's a park over there, Cadwalader Park, and that's named after General John Cadwalader. Well, his grandson in 1830 didn't cross the Delaware; he crossed the Atlantic with his wife and did the Grand Tour. And they picked up a souvenir gift while in Paris, France. They bought all this furniture. Postcards won't do it for them. No. They can put the Cadwalader family. And so this furniture is a revival of Louis XVI Rococo. It will revive for a little while in the 19th century when the Cadwaladers bring it to Philadelphia. It is noted by George Sidney Fisher and other people as the first kind of its kind in the United States. That's how cutting edge the Cadwaladers were. And so this little piece of paper is the bill of sale that General George Cadwalader will be presented when he pays 22,000 francs in 1835 for this furniture and have it shipped out of Port Harbor, Paris, France.
Very fun. And this is all original, right?
The furniture is, now the fabric, of course, did anyone ever tell you the fabric is original in this period furniture? Because without condition they doesn't last.
Right.
So no, this has been replaced. This was part of your tax money too, $100 million for this fabric. It is custom made by Scott Laundry of New York. They are the fabric textile historians of the country. So the city went to them for
So it probably looked like this.
Could have. This was period. So it's not
Right.
something like they would not know. Yeah. So it would be something. It matches up with this room. Now, this middle part of the house we talked about was federal out of possessed. Lewis was on the cutting edge, which is architecture, and so was Hemphill, because the cutting edge in 1820 in the United States starts in Philadelphia, the Greek Revival, this Greek Revival room. You got your anthemias. These are actual Greek Revival temple doors. With the Philadelphia picture for putting the egg in dark and all the wrong places. It was so much fun the way to do it. And we've got meanders up here. And that's a new word you can take home and use at the next party to bore people. Meandrus, you want to call it keepwork. Meandrus is the Greek word that they use for it. Means maze. Now it's just a maze. But it's put in a French parterre here with an astragal. So this is what we call empire. This empire is blending Roman and Greek. And later on it will bring Egyptian after Napoleon has his campaign in 1801. Egypt failed campaign. So that's this. Now, this room brings us to the name Strawberry. It dates from Hemphill buying the house, not after 1844 when all the rumors of the stories come up. Now, this is why it's important to understand where this name comes from. We've had to do some guesswork, but it's easy guesswork. Remember we were talking about the Swedes in the farmhouse? Well, those Swedes named this area as Strawberry Hill. So it's on the deed. So when Hemphill wants to and needs to change the name, because it was more of a legal thing than a pretty thing to name your state because that put it to you. Somerville attaches to the previous owner.
Oh, gotcha.
So to keep from, they generally change the name for legal purposes. So when he changes it, it's easy. Just pulls it off the deed, Strawberry Hill. But there's something more important about this. When Thomas Holmes comes to Philadelphia to lay out the city, where the first planned city in the country, well, he's got a problem because those cotton picking Swedes were already here down in Queen Village, where the city was supposed to be. When he decides to buy property, which is today the Center City, he doesn't buy the property. He and Penn do a land swap. Poor Swedes, it wasn't an equitable land swap for them. They only get 600 acres. You know what it is? This is it. So this house sits in the very acreage, 600. Now the Sven Swanson brothers lost them a deal in a trade. That gives us Center City today. So what a unique attachment. And this house is attached to the oldest Swedish museum in the United States as well. We have them out here a lot. So this is why we want to destroy this nice, because ice cream and strawberries being grown here. and Coleman, the oldest son of growing strawberries from Brazilian roots. We have no documentation on that. We don't know where it came from. And so, yeah, all that kind of nonsense. But it makes a very important attachment to the house. Well, Rusty, did you take pictures?
The
You
piano,
like this piano.
it does,
He's
it,
going to come out with his house and get this piano.
it is a working,
It is, yeah.
and a period.
Right now. This is 1911.
Okay.
So it's not part of the collection. And the harp is 1847, so it's a little bit later than this. But this is antique house, 1911, so over 100 years old. So, yeah.